wow. Oh, wow. I love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, I don't love LA currently. I really do love me some New Jersey.
New Jersey?
Jersey.
Jersey.
New Jersey. So I think we all know who these people are that's talking. And if you don't know who's talking, well, I'm sorry, let me inform you. First off, you are listening to 90.3 WMSE Upper Montclair. You are now tuned into not the best sports talk show in New Jersey.
Get them.
Not the best sports talk show on the East Coast.
Get them.
Keep it going.
Not even on just the Western Hemisphere.
Wow, hemisphere talk today.
Yeah, we're going big words. Number one sports talk show in all of the universe. It's time for Coin Toss, baby.
You know we back. Mike, are you going to say it?
What do you say? What?
Happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I mean, it is Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope everybody's week was phenomenal. I'm really happy that you're joining us if you have the time today.
We love it when everybody does join us.
Bring me down a little bit.
Bring you down a little bit?
Down
you.
a little bit.
I got
down
you.
a little bit.
All right. Well, we are back in the booth. Time to talk all the sports that we got. And today we got a full broadcast for you. A nice hour full of Thursday night recap. We got a little college football preview and college football playoff ranking review. We will hit the playoffs of basketball because we play the new
in-season
tournament.
NBA tournament.
Which I will be attending one of the games for on Monday. Bucks Nets.
Let's go.
Congrats, bud.
Get some coin toss action in there.
Of course. And then to end the show, we will be reviewing what was a very
lackluster World Series.
It's so crazy that we could say it was lackluster because for the fans involved of the two teams that played, that was like an insane World Series.
We'll do that again.
No.
I mean,
But
you definitely won't because you're 20.
I may see
3
it.
minutes and 34 seconds in.
You gotta start early, bro. You gotta start early.
Anyway, speaking of starting early, Will Levis in his second career start last night.
That was very clean. I'm proud of you for that.
Thank you. Will Levis in his second career start last night for the Tennessee Titans. They traveled to Pittsburgh to take on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes, sir.
And despite that offense looking brand new under him, the Pittsburgh Steelers went and they took this one 20-16 last night.
It was actually a very good game from Will Levis. I'm not going to hold you.
In the first half, at least. I'll give him the first half.
I mean, there were throws that I was seeing made by him that I think that, you haven't seen that from Ryan Tannehill.
That's my main thing with Will Levis. He's willing to take the chances that Tannehill won't take anymore.
You don't see it with Tannehill, and you didn't see it with Malik Willis. You're seeing throws that I was like, oh, wow, we got a quarterback here.
I think that officially you can put the Malik Willis project in the books.
Yeah.
I probably think his peak is a journeyman starting quarterback if he can even do that after the Titans, because not a lot of teams were willing to, take a chance on him. There were rumors in that draft that he was going to go pretty early. He ended up falling to the third, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
But I was very high on him. Obviously, it's a Liberty quarterback. You got to take, all you can take out of a Liberty quarterback.
Wow.
Can you name me any other college player that has went to Liberty?
Can you?
No, I can't. That's why I'm asking
I'm
you.
surprised. I'm really surprised.
I mean,
Joe Bees, look it up.
no. Yeah, Joe, can you hook us up? Last quarterback.
Last
last
NFL player.
active NFL players to go to Liberty.
player to go to Liberty. All right, fair enough. I got some unfortunate news, guys.
Uh-oh.
I didn't hit record on Audacity, so we missed the first couple minutes of this.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's on now, though. It's on now, so we
Welcome
are good.
back to Coin Toss.
Welcome back. We earlier said that Will Levis looked pretty good.
In the first half.
Started us off with the first half talk of Will Levis. But let's continue that conversation on that game last night from Thursday.
I want to take a look at Kenny Pickett's stat line because again he played a clean game in terms of a turnover standpoint, 0 turnovers for the 4th straight game. Yet he only has 3 total touchdowns in that span. He went 19 for 30, 160 yards and a touchdown, and he had a kneel for -1 yard, so nothing from the rushing aspect. So we've seen what now? We've seen about how much have we seen of Kenny Pickett?
Season and a half.
Season and a half.
Season and a half.
For me, there has not been a single thing that I think that he does well enough to give him that first round pedigree that they invested in him. What do we think in terms of Kenny Pickett? Like, what do we think his ceiling is as an NFL quarterback?
I think this is his ceiling. I think he can be a solid, serviceable game manager, probably somebody in the realm of Jimmy G, and that's nothing to laugh at. Like, it's hard to do. Playing quarterback is one of the hardest things to do probably on this planet, in the universe. Like,
and
this talk show.
Being a game manager isn't as easy as some people think it is
Exactly.
either.
Yes,
People,
I do agree.
People like to throw that term around when they don't know what else to call a quarterback, but like at the same time, it is not easy to do. Like what Drew Brees did for however many years in New Orleans.
I agree. But like you also think about like I don't know if you guys know Brett Coleman, but he is probably one of my favorite people in the NFL fantasy space. But he did an entire video. He was at the I think it was the Steelers and the Rams game, and he was watching it and just kind of just digesting this offense under Matt Canada.
Yeah.
And oh my God, does he need to go?
I mean,
he needs to go, and it's really bad. And I don't think it's a Pickett problem. Like I think if he had a good OC, like a Shane Steichen or somebody of that pedigree, like we don't know what that could be. That's why I hesitate to say this is his ceiling. But under Matt Canada, I don't think it gets any better.
I mean, I was gonna bring that up, but first, our producer Joe hit me up with the answer. Last active NFL player to go to Liberty. You guys won't even believe this because he was, I believe, on one of you guys' waiver wires.
Wait.
Oh my God,
Mario Douglas.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
On the Patriots. Last Liberty.
Mario Douglas.
Last active player.
It's a shout. Anything notable before that?
Let's see. Joe will hook us up with that one. But what you brought up about Matt Canada was going to be my next question. Let's read some of these other stats real quick. Najee Harris, 18 touches, 76 yards, a TD. Deontay Johnson, first touchdown since 2021. He had 7 catches, 90 yards overall. George Pickens, 2 catches for -1 yard. Does Matt Canada not being in the booth and now being on the sideline, do you feel that was enough of the change for the Steelers? Because
no,
I know. Hold on, let me context it. If you think about Booth him compared to him on sideline, we saw a Najee Harris touchdown we haven't seen in a while. We got a Deontay Johnson touchdown we haven't seen in a while. George Pickens had a touchdown but completely forgot he played football and that there are sidelines and out of bounds.
Yeah, he did get clamped up most of that night.
So like, does it? You know, I know it's not what, if you're a Steelers fan, exactly what the change you want to look like, but does it feel like a little bit of a change
in the same tone before we start talking about anything else? This Titans run defense has like been very good for the last couple years.
It's always just been weirdly,
and like they let Najee Harris and Jalen Warren run all over them. That's the only reason they were in the game. Pickett threw under 200 yards.
And their defense, their
top
obviously,
I'm saying offensively,
edge rusher duo in the league defense.
But yeah,
you can have what you want, bud.
What are your takes on the Matt Canada switch up from the booth to the sideline?
He needs to go. It doesn't matter where he is. It doesn't matter where he is.
He needs to be packaged into a box and shipped off to Somalia. There is no reason that he should have a job.
He needs to go. He needs to go to.
I know that's harsh, but
my point to bring up this Brett Coleman video is that he is not like the biggest thing for me is that think about the best offense in the NFL, the 49ers, the Dolphins, etc.
Kansas City.
They all use motion, and Matt Canada has the lowest percentage of motion used prior to the snap.
Yeah,
and that is a big problem, especially in the modern day NFL where you're doing it. Like the Dolphins are doing it on 80-something% of plays, which is ridiculous.
And it's not like Pittsburgh doesn't have the speed on their offense either. Jalen Warren, Calvin Austin, and Deontay Johnson and George Pickens they're all burnt. Well, they're not burners, but they all have wheels. So to hear that stat that Matt Canada isn't using motion, especially with a player like Calvin Austin, who I genuinely think could be a difference maker if utilized correctly. Like there's nothing. I don't think you could find a single number to support Matt Canada still having a job. Like
I agree.
There's
I
nothing.
100% agree.
There's nothing. And one thing I really liked last night was the use of Jalen Warren in comparison to Najee Harris.
I've been saying that.
No, I have too. Another week of Jalen Warren being more efficient than Najee Harris, and they weren't just using him as a spell to Najee Harris last night. Jalen Warren had 14 touches, 4 less than Najee's 18. And he racked up almost 40 more yards from scrimmage on 4 less touches.
All right.
Free Jalen Warren.
I'm telling you, I called it. I told people he would and eventually take that job away from Najee. A lot of people said I was crazy, but to wrap this segment up for you guys real quick, talk to me about what are your takeaways from last night. You also had a Derrick Henry touchdown, which we haven't seen in a little bit.
He's got 3 in his last 5.
So, we're starting to see him get back to his King Henry days. But we also saw a scary, very, very scary injury for Treylon Burks that left, as you got here in the notes, the A.J. Brown trade looking like a steal for the, Eagles.
And before we say anything about this, I hope Treylon Burks is healthy. All of that. What we're about to say has nothing to do with his personal life.
Yeah.
But the Titans really did get fleeced.
Yeah.
Honestly, and if they're going to play or they're going to act like they're competitive and not totally ship everyone out to rebuild, you keep that guy. I don't care how much money you're paying him. You could have drafted Will Levis again this year. No one was touching him. Mm-hmm. You could have taken him in the mid first and still had the same plan. I don't see where they were going with that.
Is that your takeaway after watching that game last night?
It's a terrible, terrible thing for them to do. Imagine DeAndre Hopkins and A.J. Brown in the same offense right now.
I mean,
no,
Micah, what's your takeaway?
I agree. My big takeaway though for this game that I alluded to before, Alex Highsmith and T.J. Watt really are absolutely a force to be reckoned with, and right now they look like they could be the best edge rusher duo in the NFL before Chase Young steps onto the field for the 49ers, because that is going to be a huge upgrade over Eric Armstead, despite Armstead being good. Alex Highsmith and T.J. Watt combined for 7 QB hits and 3 sacks last night.
You might be right in saying this, and we talked about this before going on air, and now I'm just sitting here blanking. I can't even think of a good duo.
When Mike is coming off the edge with DeMarcus Lawrence, that's another phenomenal duo. The Eagles duo that you mentioned, Josh Sweat, Hassan Reddick.
I think DeMarcus Lawrence and Parsons are on the same level as them, if not better. I'm taking DeMarcus Lawrence over.
I like the youth and the speed of T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith over DeMarcus Lawrence. I think that gap.
Yeah,
Alex Highsmith is so
definitely
underrated.
an athletic thing.
So
too. That plays a lot into playing the position, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean it was not a terrible game last night. 20-16 win for the Steelers at the end of the night. But let's move on, boys. Let's get on to our next favorite topic. We always love to talk college football. We got college football, big games on this weekend. Got Alabama going against LSU. We also got Washington facing off against USC.
I'm excited for that one.
Let's go Trojans, fight on, baby! But let's preview this Alabama LSU game. The series record right now: Alabama leads 55 wins, 27 losses, 5 ties. You got Alabama at a 62%. We got Alabama at a 62% win chance. And then you also have some key things from the last season. LSU has won last year's meeting in an overtime win at Tiger Stadium, despite the play of the pass from Daniels to tight end Mason Taylor for a 2-point conversion. That's actually how they won. Sorry, I messed up. But Alabama and LSU have split their last 4 meetings since 2019, and each team has won a national championship in the previous 4 seasons.
Malik Neighbors, real quick, I just want to give a shout out. Marvin Harrison Jr. obviously is stealing the spotlight from the wide receiver standpoint in college this year because, again, as we've said time and time again, he's the best receiver prospect in 15 years. But Malik Neighbors is ridiculous.
He's not even the second best in the class.
I know, which is very nuts. The wide receiver class,
I'm saying
it's more of a testament to the depth of the position this year than it is Malik Neighbors' talent.
I'm not saying Malik Neighbors is bad by any means. I think he's a very good prospect, but this class could come off similarly to this past year's class with Jordan Addison, Jackson Smith, and Jigba.
I don't think this class touches. I gotta pull up the exact.
I think this class could be better than last year's.
No. This class, I agree. I'm saying last year's class, I don't think is as good as this year's at all. I don't.
You don't think it's necessarily close?
No. I mean,
I think you have more plug and play guys.
I gotta pull
one of the names you just said, JSN. He just broke into the team within the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, these guys are gonna these guys are all 20 years old playing against professionals.
There's a receiver draft class, and I'll table it and then get to it later. There's a receiver draft class. I want to say it was 14 or 15. I want to read off.
Yeah.
Just that's the draft class that I'm starting That's
The
that I'm
AJ
thinking of.
Green class, right?
No. That was 11. That was
Okay.
2011. AJ Green, Julio Jones. But
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, this is it been a split within the last 4 seasons, and like I also said, national championship within the last 4 seasons for both teams. What are you guys thinking here? We got a big game. Alabama needs to continue winning out for the rest of the year if they want to even see a possibility of being in the playoff rankings, which they were. I think the most recent one, the first one of the year, just came out, which we'll talk about right after these previews. But Alabama has to win out. This is a have-to win for the rest of the year, Alabama. And this Alabama team is not even close to half the teams that Coach Saban has had in the past. The quarterback is not that great.
Yeah.
Wide receiving room is mediocre, and the running back room is nothing
They
compared
got that
to
boy
what they
Kool-Aid
got back then.
McKinstry, though.
I know, but
he's a
he ain't
dog.
breaking
He's
through.
so good.
He's not breaking through walls saying, "Oh yeah." For me personally,
We didn't need that.
I'm just saying.
I like it.
We didn't
I'm
need
ju-
that.
I'm just
I like
saying.
the ad.
Look, I think that this is, an Alabama thing for the past couple years. Like, dating back to last year, even, like, last year's team, obviously, they have Bryce Young, Jahmyr Gibbs, Will Anderson Jr., a lot of guys who went pretty high in the class.
Yeah.
All top 8 guys, 12 guys, by the way, which is kind of crazy.
12. Yeah.
Yeah, but I always flip that draft pick.
Bijan's 8.
I know. But, like, this has been a thing for the last 2 years now. Like, Alabama, like, barring their coaching, like, I think this is a mediocre roster. I don't think necessarily it's a mediocre team, if that makes sense. You got Nick Saban, and obviously one of the best coaches of all time in any sport. I think that's fair to say.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Collegiate or professional.
Yeah,
100%.
like, it doesn't matter. I think that, this team has stopped high-powered offenses like the Tennessee Volunteers, who are coached very well. I think this probably is an Alabama win. I do think LSU's very good. I like Jaden Daniels, obviously Malik Neighbors we were talking about. But the spread is 3, so it's kind of even. I might be more inclined to take the Alabama money line, but don't gamble, kids.
What do you think?
Kids, like, you're not 19.
I'm not. I don't gamble though.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
good for. I mean,
I
very important.
can't legally gamble, so I don't do it.
Yeah, very important. Micah, what are you looking forward to in this LSU battle and with Alabama?
I think that it's going to be a big game in terms of if Jaden Daniels wants to salvage any Heisman hopes that he has. Well, not salvage, but I think if he really wants to put an exclamation point on any Heisman hopes that he may have, I think this is the game to do it against
I
that
agree.
Alabama
I totally agree.
against that Alabama defense against Nick Saban. And I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and he absolutely balls out and they take this one.
Yeah, I mean this is a gigantic game for both teams. Obviously, I think this is easily for both teams the most important game because I'm thinking whoever wins this game is probably seeing Georgia in the SEC championship.
I agree.
Agreed.
And so
More than likely. I think
Yeah.
that this is. They both have 1 loss, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
no,
LSU's
they
got
both
2.
they both have 2
Nope,
losses. Oh no,
Alabama's
Alabama has 1.
7-1.
Yeah, and
So if LSU wins, they have the tiebreaker. at that
LSU's
point.
6-2.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, this is big. We know that Georgia's undefeated still. So whoever's coming out of the SEC and trying to look for a playoff spot, you're pretty much going to have to beat Georgia in the SEC championship if you don't win out for the rest of the year. Alabama, pretty much that's it. Alabama, everybody else, I think there's no other 1-loss teams in the SEC besides them. Everybody else has 2 or more losses.
Yeah.
So
Tennessee has 2. Ole Miss might only have 1, actually.
Auburn.
Auburn.
Ole
definitely
Miss
has
is
1.
7-1.
Oh, okay.
Ole Miss is Auburn definitely has more than 1.
100%. Well, they're not in the top 25.
Auburn's
I don't
positive.
know.
Yeah. So I mean, like we're gonna see fireworks. That's the biggest thing we're gonna see from this weekend is big fireworks. But let's move on to the next game: Washington versus my boy Caleb Williams.
You wanna talk about a quarterback matchup? Michael Penix Jr. versus Caleb Williams is about as good as you can get at the collegiate level right now.
Yeah, I'm not gonna hold you. We were talking about our Heisman rankings last episode. Hopefully, Joe, if he has the clips, kid, right about this spot in the 4-minute and 20-second spot of the episode, fill in right here our Heisman picks right from last week.
Shout out Joe.
Appreciate you, Joe.
He's in the
Thanks,
corner
Joe.
for everybody that doesn't know. Our producer Joe's in the corner.
So
but yeah, we talked about it last week.
Before we talk about anything about this game, and I understand the Heisman stuff is getting a little oversaturated at this point.
Uh-huh.
I feel there's a lot of guys who can do it. There's a lot of guys who can win it. The top 3 everyone's gonna have a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
But I do want to talk about this game. The over/under is 76 and a half.
Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get at.
I don't. Like,
It's
kind of
because
insane.
USC's defense
is terrible.
can guard kindergartners, and that's it.
It's
Yeah,
terrible.
No,
That's
it's
it.
brutal. It's brutal.
And I was gonna say, we were talking before the show about how I was saying that Caleb Williams is slightly overrated. I do think if he had any help, like Michael Penix does,
Yeah.
obviously Roma Dunes is Romeo
Roaming, yeah.
Roma Dunes. I gotta get good at these names, man. But I think he's a great receiver. I think
Mhm.
Michael Penix, like they're 5th in the nation for a reason. They have some sort of defense. I think that this is like a thing where it's like, if you obviously in the NFL, we were talking about this recently about how if you put Brock Purdy in someone else's shoes,
Yeah.
if you put Caleb Williams on a lot of these teams, Oklahoma, if you put Caleb Williams on Oklahoma,
he used to be on Oklahoma.
I know,
He ain't there
Weep.
anymore.
weep. If you put him on Oklahoma, that's probably the best team in the nation. So I think this is like a crazy little matchup we got going on here. Should be more fireworks in this Alabama LSU game.
One quick note I want to make. I think that the running back for USC, Marshawn Lloyd, who's over 700 rushing yards this year, just wanted to say I think he might be an X factor that not a lot of people are talking about. Everybody's obviously going to focus on the quarterback play, but that USC run game has gone very under the radar, been very above average this year.
Due to that quarterback situation, he's taking
So just
everything up from them.
Definitely don't be surprised if maybe the player of the game doesn't come from the quarterback side of that for USC. But anyway.
I will also say Zachariah Branch, very, very, very good player out
Got
there.
to show out.
Very got
Gotta
it. He
show
has
out.
to. And same thing, I think they have Jerry Rice's son on USC's team this year.
Little Rice.
Yeah, he's going to have to show up too. It's a very
Call him a
big.
grain.
But the reason why this is going to be very big actually is the top 25 rankings were put out this week for college football, and we should talk about them. I'll give you guys the top 10. We're not gonna do the full. We're not gonna do full 25.
Well, no, I know. I didn't know if we were gonna go to.
Oh no, we're gonna go to break in like 2 minutes. But I'm gonna give you the top 10 real quick, and then when we go to break, we'll come back talk about it for a second.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
right. My fault.
You guys listening can think about this top 10.
Yeah.
And we'll give you guys our hot opinions.
Right after.
Coming in at number 1.
Number
Xavier.
1, Ohio State. 8-0, kind of obvious. They're the best team, best wide receiver. It's no debate about it.
It's up and it's stuck.
Yep. Number 2, Georgia. 8-0 also.
Ooga.
They haven't lost, I think, since last year, so you cannot fight with that. They're the bomb. Next, you got Michigan at number 3, another undefeated team. They have
JJ McCarthy, baby.
They got some issues though at coach. The Michigan were gonna sign Harbaugh to like the most grandiose deal.
Yeah, whatever.
And now it's looking like he may not return. So we'll
Guy's
see.
a pumpkin.
We'll keep our eyes on that. Number 4, Florida State 8-0. Number 5, Washington. Number 6, Oregon at 7-1. We have
This is
Shout out
this
Bo
is the
Nix.
end of the run of the undefeated teams.
Yeah.
Washington is the last at 5.
Yeah, Washington's the last at 5. So Texas at 7-1. Bama at 8 at 7-1. OU, Oklahoma at 7-1.
Yes, sir.
And then Ole Miss, you guys were right. That's another SEC team that's with 1 loss at 7-1. That is the top 10 as of right now. The first official playoff ranking, not top 20 AP top 25 for the listener, which is a different ranking. This is for college football playoffs.
So there's the top 10. We're gonna take 5, and we will see you guys in a bit. Appreciate you guys for tuning in.
All right.
All right now.
And we were literally
Bro.
all just fanboying
Bro.
out to that.
That was sick.
That
was really sick.
Like I said, big flex.
Woo.
Saw Big Time Rush live in August at Mount Bethel. So
Good for you, Micah.
hold them.
I mean, I wish I could see
Like
BTR.
Texas?
I love them. Growing up, having younger siblings, being that I was just 52 just a few weeks ago. I have to thank my younger siblings to keep me in touch with the
He
youth.
did it. He did the meme. He called himself old.
It's like that. It's like the picture of Spider-Man pointing at himself.
It's the third wall. It's like we broke the third wall.
We broke the third wall. That is definitely.
Shout out X-Men.
But yeah, let's run through your opinions on that top 10, and we will hear from you guys. We will leave the airlines open for anybody that does want to call in. You guys could call in at 973-655-4256. That's the number to call in and leave your opinion on the first college playoff ranking, the top 10. So the number to call in is 973-655-4256. Call in, let us know your opinion on the first college football playoff rankings. But gentlemen, talk to me. What are you guys thinking about that top 10?
I mean, okay, so the top 5, pretty easy. They're all 5. They're all 8-0, and they all deserve to be in the top 5 while they're undefeated. Again, Washington. This is going to be a huge test this week. 6, 7, 8, and 9. Even it's like 6 through 11. Like I agree with all that placement.
Something I'm going to say about this number 10 team is Ole Miss. I don't like. Is it kind of scary to think about how like I'm looking at their schedule right now, and like they go Texas A&M this week, and then they play Georgia next week. If they somehow, some way
beat Georgia,
Georgia,
pop into like the top 5?
They're screaming up. They're screaming up that ranking, and like I doubt it happens because Georgia's that good. But like if you think about
got
it,
a call.
Oh, jeez.
Here we go.
Is this you?
But continue.
If Ole Miss wins this game against Georgia, this might be a little crazy. We might get a little frisky with these rankings.
Is this you, big dog?
I know. I mean, hold on. I'm getting the call in. I've got to set it up so that the individual knows the rules of what they could say. But Micah, continue on what you were saying or Connor and Micah, continue on what you guys were saying.
I don't know. I think Ole Miss is a little sneaky. I think this might be a little bit of a sneaky team. They're an Ole Miss roster. They're an SEC roster, so it's like.
Hello. Oh, sorry. Hello. How you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. Who we got talking right now?
We got JJ talking.
JJ,
all right,
JJ. How we doing?
You want to go ahead and talk in, but you can't curse, obviously.
Yeah, no, I won't.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Well, for one, shout out my boy Connor Finan. Number 2, I want to ask Connor specifically what he thinks about Joe Burrow. Do you think he's back for the rest of the season, or
Am I on?
is this just a fluke past 2 weeks?
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Connor. What do you think, Joe Burrow?
JJ, thank you for calling number 1. I appreciate the love. No, I don't think he's back. I think this is a little bit of an overstated couple weeks here. Obviously, you can't rule out the beginning of the year when you're thinking, oh, here we go, I'm back.
There you go.
Obviously, I think those first 3 weeks of the year were pretty terrible, but coming back, he did do pretty well. I think it might even itself out. I don't think he's a Joe Burrow of old, but I do think that it will be better than the first couple weeks of the year. I do believe that. But thank you again, JJ. But we are on the topic of college football, I'd appreciate it if you were to pay attention to the show.
But yeah, so you guys were talking about not liking that Ole Miss as an opportunity to jump into a top 5 spot, and I do think like if you look at some of these 7-1 teams, obviously besides Bama, Texas, Oregon, like everybody below Ole Miss, I think if anything, you got to look at what. Penn State at 7-1.
That's exactly what I'm looking at right now.
That's what I'm looking at all the other teams. Everybody else has 2 losses.
They have
who do they have on the rest of their schedule?
They have Maryland, but then the following week they take on number 3 Michigan at home.
Okay.
Which
if you
is
win
going
that
to be
game,
electric.
If you win, first off, whiteout, I really hope so. Is it night? Is it a night game against Michigan?
Noon.
I think they already did whiteout.
Oh, dang. They already did whiteout.
I think they already did.
Against,
all right.
I don't know.
Wasn't it OSU?
No, it was in OSU, so there's no way it was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably against maybe Iowa.
What's Mizzou doing? What's
Chilling.
up with Mizzou?
Winning.
Who's good?
All right.
I can't name you one player on the.
I'm saying Ole Miss and Mizzou, like sneaky teams.
Yeah. I mean,
is Jackson Dart's their quarterback, right?
Yeah.
What's his name?
I think
I can't even pretend.
Dart on Ole Miss.
I think Dart
Dart
is the
right?
quarterback.
I don't know anything about Ole Miss either.
That's crazy. Fake fan.
Well,
I will.
I don't even like college like that. I know more than you. That's wild.
all right.
Okay.
Well,
keep talking all that, big dog.
let's talk about something Micah doesn't know too much about, but he likes the college version a lot more of. The NBA.
Let's go, bro.
Let's talk basketball. We have the new NBA in-season tournament. So for the listener, you guys have already know NBA is almost ridiculously too long sometimes, but it comes to the end of the year, to the summertime where everybody plays for the NBA championship. The NBA thought, you know what? We don't have enough trophies to give out.
That's a good point.
We don't have enough games that we play.
Great point.
So
They didn't add any games. I think the point of it was
why don't
to
we
add
put
emphasis.
in an extra tournament?
If you're adding emphasis in November, I don't think there's a negative to it.
That's true.
I
think
like
the only
if
thing
if these guys are incentivized to play more, that's all the NBA wants. They want their stars on the court at all times.
that's what I was gonna say. Like you have nothing but the All-Star game to look forward to.
And I doubt everyone even looks forward to that.
Yeah, nobody does any longer. It's not the slam dunk contest hasn't been what it used to be. The skills contest nobody ever cared about, and the 3-point contest.
The skills contest, I don't even know why that's a thing. To be completely honest,
it's very strange.
Remember the Giannis's brothers?
Oh yeah, they couldn't make a freaking chess pass.
I swear, bro.
But
why are they in the league? Sorry to hate, but
no, I've seen some highlights. They definitely should not. They should be with their G League officials.
they should be with Matt Canada.
where?
The only problem is that Giannis is on the team, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah. So obviously,
Please, Connor, please explain first off for the listener what the NBA in-season tournament is.
I don't know if anyone else has tried to understand what this is yet, but I watched a really good video by Richard Jefferson, one of my favorite NBA people on the planet. Essentially, each conference, the East and the West, are broken up into 3 groups of 5. Whoever wins out in those 5, so it's kind of a doozy to explain.
Yeah, go ahead.
So if we have West Group A, which is the Grizzlies, Suns, Lakers, Jazz, and Trailblazers, they each play each other once, which is a total of 4 games. Whoever has the best record out of those, including tiebreakers and stuff, would move on. You get one from B and C. That's 3 spots in the West. And then the next best record out of all the groups would make it as well.
Okay.
So it's 3. Whoever wins the group is 3. And then there's a wild card, they're calling it. That also happens in the East. And then it's single elimination in a bracket style.
Okay.
So the best team in the West in those in-season tournament games would play the wild card team, 2-3, obviously.
Yeah.
Same thing in the East. So I think this is actually going to be really interesting. Obviously, if you make it out of this round, like the pool play round, you go to Vegas, you get, there's some money involved, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I heard first winning team, $500,000 each player, and I think runners up get $200,000 each.
There's definitely some money involved because there wouldn't be anything else, and they're also doing MVP style trophies like they added last year with the Larry Bird and the Michael and the Magic Johnson trophies. So I think this is like really a good step in the right direction for the NBA to improve the quality of the games that are being played earlier in the year. Like, I really do think that there is no downside to this. I wish they would have made it a little bit later, like around Christmas time. Yeah. But that's when the finals are. Like the finals are like the day after Christmas, which is kind of crazy.
So we got that. Let me read off the groups to you guys. You had, like he said, West Group A, the Grizzlies, Suns, Lakers, Jazz, Trailblazers.
Also on that list, X, whichever team is in bold is the favorite. So in that group, it would be the Suns that are favorited via FanDuel.
Okay. So West Group B, Nuggets, Clippers, Pelicans, Mavericks, Rockets.
And the Nuggets are favored in that, obviously.
You got West Group C, Kings, Warriors, Timberwolves, Thunder, Spurs.
And the Dubs, the Golden State Dubs, are the favorite in that division.
East Group A, 76ers, Cavaliers, Hawks, Pacers, and Pistons.
And oddly enough, the Sixers are still favored to win that. I'd probably give it to the Cavs. We can talk about it after.
No, I definitely agree with you on that one. That trade has definitely switched up that order for me, too. East Group B, Bucks, Knicks, Heat, Wizards, Hornets. I think this think this might be the toughest group in the East, low key. Low key.
It might
besides,
the Pacers are good. And the Hawks. The Hawks have been playing great.
We'll talk about it more. But East Group C, final group, Celtics, Nets, Raptors, Bulls, Magic.
And obviously that'll be the easiest thing on the planet for the Celtics. I'm so mad that they're in the division because it's just a walk-in.
But yeah, so after reading all those groups, guys, like I just said, personally I think Group B, I'm probably being a little biased, but What do you guys think it might be the toughest group if you are on one of these teams?
West Group B.
I think for me, it's either West Group B or West Group C.
Okay.
Because the Thunder are playing great basketball right now. Obviously, you have the Spurs with Wemby.
Oh, yeah.
The Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert. That team is still pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing for me in this, it's almost like your favorite little thing on the planet. It's like kind of like March Madness. Like you're playing, and I'm not going to say to that extent like, oh, like it's March Madness, but like you're playing single elimination after this pool play. Like you don't know what can happen. Obviously, like the best teams will probably make it. But, like, if I'm looking at a team like the Thunder, if they can squeak into that wild card spot, I don't know, like, on any given night, you can't rule them out entirely.
And that I do agree with you. With it being single elimination, it puts a different level of pressure on these teams to perform.
And we're going to watch so many good games.
Yeah,
Like,
because people know that you're done. It's not like the regular NBA playoffs. You have 7 games to complete a series.
Yeah.
This is a one and done.
You could be playing a team for 2.5 weeks, and instead of this, you're playing a different team. Like
Every
I think it's
night.
only like 3 days in between.
Oh, wow.
And there's 7 total games, which I'm going to be watching 7 after this pool play.
Mm-hmm.
That are like in Vegas and all that stuff. So I think it'll be really presented very well. Obviously, they made new courts, which I'm not a fan of.
Yeah,
entirely. I think some of them are okay. Some of them are terrible. But
I think I know the girls are probably listening to us outside. Shout out to our social team, Stephanie and Jen. We love you guys.
Jenny.
You guys are the best. But we should definitely ask them to do like a side post about showing all the new courts that
I
got
don't want
put
them
out.
up there though.
I mean,
they're not nice.
I think they're
not
pretty
easy to
cool.
look at.
They're pretty cool.
What?
They're
And
interesting.
if we're gonna talk about courts and stuff, we got to talk about jerseys too.
Those
oh
jerseys are.
My goodness gracious!
Ugh.
The Miami Heat just dropped the worst uniform on planet Earth.
I don't know.
Have you seen it? Have you seen
Knicks,
it? I know you're not a
no,
big fan. Look it up right now. Look up Heat culture Miami jersey.
The Knicks one isn't that great. I heard that the Knicks actually their jersey was designed by Kith.
That's so sick. I love being in New York. Like if you have a team in New York, you have so many resources.
Yeah, Kith was the one who created the New York Knicks new jerseys. We got Micah over here focusing on the new Heat ones.
How bad is that?
It's like a 2 out of 10.
Like it's.
Let me see if I can pull up a list of all these jerseys.
And they're
'cause,
all
like,
bad.
I could
They're
actually
all
offer some
bad.
input here.
But
Yeah.
regardless, I do want to before we can.
He's just whacking this microphone.
Back up,
But
buddy.
here, wait. Let me give you guys the games for tonight because, like we said, the tournament does
Yeah.
start tonight. So the games tonight, majority of them, or no, 2 of them start at 7:30. It will be the New York Knicks versus the Milwaukee Bucks, and then. Oh wow, not 7:30 for that's a weird one. So the Knicks game is at 7:30. The Cavaliers Pacers is at 7. Then you have a slew of 8 o'clock games. Washington Miami being 1, Brooklyn Chicago being 2.
God, we're gonna
and
lose
then
to
the third one is the Golden State Warriors OKC game.
Dude, all these jerseys are so ugly.
They're so terrible.
They're
right?
all
Hold on,
so
hold on.
And they're all wearing them for the tournament. Like that's the only jersey they're wearing.
I see now. Joe just showed me the jersey.
The
Yeah,
Heat
it's-
culture jersey
Golden
is
State,
terrible.
bad.
Golden State and Detroit are both tough.
I love Detroit. Did Detroit
We'll-
do the throwbacks? Like
We'll
the light
have
blue?
to
Or like the teal?
throw up a
A
post.
graphic. There's
We'll
a
have
picture.
the graphic. Yeah, we'll have to throw up a graphic for our listeners so they can.
We can rank the top 5 worst.
That would actually be a pretty good poll for our story.
That's so hating. That's top tier hate.
well.
So-
if the shoe fits.
I want to ask
But
you
wait,
guys,
hold on. Wait, real quick. Last
got
2
me amped.
games. I'm sorry.
Oh, I
10
didn't know
o'clock
there was more.
games. Dallas versus Denver, and the last one is Memphis versus Portland.
Dallas Denver game of the night.
Probably. I do think that look like while we're on the topic of Dallas, like Kyrie Irving hadn't played the last 2 games because of a knee injury, and now he's coming back tonight.
Yeah.
If this isn't a game where like there's implications in the in-season tournament, like he may or may not play, but he's incentivized not to play because people want to win that.
Yeah.
Like it's not like they're adding it, no one cares. Like I know like Bones Highland came out and was like, I don't even know what's going on, but like, bro, like you want to win.
Bones Island.
You're an athlete. You're competitive. You want to win stuff, bro. Like stop acting like it doesn't matter.
I mean, well,
It matters. It does matter.
It does matter. I think obviously it being a new trophy, a new tournament, it's going to more players are gonna, shrug it off. But when the competition starts, when people see how competitive, well, not people, when the players see how competitive each one are to each other, I think they change their minds and tones. Because if you remember, LeBron was a part of the group of people that hated the idea of the play-in. And look at some of the games we've gotten out of the play-in. We've gotten some of the best games we've seen in the playoffs in a long time.
I think NBA basketball is so, not hard to get into. But if you're not, a diehard fan, I'd consider myself a bigger fan of NBA basketball than everything besides the NFL.
Yeah.
And I think it's, for me, it's so easy for me to watch because I know all these players. And there's a lot more players, that don't do a lot. In comparison to, football, for say.
Yeah.
You have 53-man rosters, and, at least 20 of the guys on the team every time you're watching football.
Yeah.
Because everyone is a part. But, I know a lot of these guys who are deep on the bench, I don't know, random people, My point is, these games are going to be good because there's an incentive to win. Mm-hmm. There's an incentive to play, which is the big thing that, Commissioner Adam Silver was talking about. We need these guys to play.
Yeah.
And that is only going to bring people off the bench. But I do want to ask you guys, who do you think comes out of each group, and who do you think wins?
Okay.
Because, you're looking at Group A, I'm probably taking the Suns there. I want to know what you guys think.
All right, Micah, do you want to go through real quick? Wait, how about this? Everybody, I'll just read the group, and then we'll all just say the team we think. Yeah. That way it goes by quicker. West Group A.
We got time, but yeah.
What do you got?
I'd probably go the Suns.
Yeah, give me Phoenix. That's a pretty easy one.
Suns
for me.
or Lakers.
I'm going Lakers on this one.
Lakers are probably
I'm
my
going
pick
Lakers.
For the
Wild card.
Yeah.
I think
or the Mavs.
Mavs are easily.
You just saw the other night what LeBron can do in overtime. It was unreal that in season 21 he's able to even play 40 minutes in a game when he's supposed to be on a minutes restriction.
So crazy.
All right, West Group B.
Denver. But yeah, agree that it might be Dallas, and I think that regardless, whichever one of those two doesn't win will be the wild card.
Yeah.
I will.
That's a good take.
I will agree with you guys on the Nuggets, but I won't agree with you guys on the wild card because I actually think that the wild card, at least out of the West, if we're just picking a team from the West and the East, that could be a wild card. Just to give fairness.
It is an East team and a West team for the wild card.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
all right. Perfect. So for the West, my wild card, Clippers. That trade for James Harden right now,
it's a quick turnaround though.
It's a very quick turnaround. I will say that.
This is in a week and a half, 2 weeks.
One thing I would say though, James has already played with two out of the three dudes that are on the team. He's played with Paul George and he's played with Russell Westbrook.
He played with Paul George?
Didn't he?
Am I tripping? No, he didn't.
No?
Russ played with Paul George.
Okay. Yes.
He played with Russ,
yes,
but honestly, it's seamless for me.
I think the addition of having Russ, that makes it a little bit easier for James to get along, and then Russ playing with the other two for a while. I think, yes, it is a quick turnaround, but I think they could do it. They're all first-team All-NBA players.
Why not, right?
Why
not?
All right, so West Group C.
Whoa. You said all of them are first-team players?
Former, not current. They're all former first-team All-NBA players.
PG's playing like a first-teamer right now, though.
But they're all former first-team players.
Yeah.
So I think it's better than putting a bunch of young superstars together.
1,000.
Because a bunch of young superstars, they got to work a little bit harder. These veteran guys who played in the league for a while, they know how to be like, all right, listen, I know I can't rebound. I'll just let you take care of that.
They also know all about each other.
Yeah.
It's a big thing especially for chemistry. When you have older guys, who are just seamless because they understand the game so much, I think that's going to be good.
West Group, wait.
First, I was going to say for Group C.
Yeah. West Group C, what are you thinking?
Give me the Kings.
That's a good take. I like that take a lot. I think the Warriors are a little bit overrated. If I were to bet, I don't bet. Please don't bet. Don't gamble. I probably would take the Kings right now. The Warriors are favored. So I'd probably just.
I wanted the Kings to win that series so bad.
I didn't. Curry needs that, bro.
I think I could go with the Kings on this one too. That team is a very well-balanced, complete
Don't sleep on the
team.
Thunder, though.
I would say don't sleep on the Spurs.
That was going to be my next one. The Spurs, Wemby last night.
38 points, 10 boards, 2 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal.
That is last night's
They don't have
stats.
enough.
That is last night's stats.
Against the Suns, by the way. It's not like there was a terrible team to drop
on
at
Yusuf
against.
Nurkic? Woo!
No, on Kevin
Scary.
Durant. On Kevin Durant.
Yeah, who's not a plus defender anymore.
I mean, he isn't, but still, you put up 38 against Kevin Durant. I'm talking my trash.
You got to think, bro. Your kid's what, 19 years old?
Yeah.
He's
I'm
also
talking-
played pro for a couple years. Think
Doesn't
about
matter.
Luka.
Doesn't matter.
It's
Think
not
about
the
Luka.
NBA.
Yes, it does.
It's
Well, no,
not
it
the
matters, but
NBA.
I'm saying
It
he's still a
does.
19-year-old dropping 38 on Kevin Durant.
You don't
It's
think
not-
you don't
I-
think a 19-year-old who played overseas is going to be better than a 19-year-old who played in college?
That's not what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
we're no, of
I'm
course.
saying
that
I'm saying that
matters.
you can't discount the fact that you can't say that just because he was a pro doesn't make it that much less
Easier.
impressive.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. But
Okay,
like,
word.
he's played against players who are of that size. How many times in college have you seen 7-footers who can move like that? Not often.
Not often. I'll agree with
If
you
at
on that.
all.
But I will agree with Micah though that playing in the pros doesn't always translate, because I will say EuroLeague basketball, it's not the NBA, and he's admitted that within the few weeks of being in the NBA, he's learned more and more that like the NBA is a different beast. But we're running close out of time, so let's hurry up on this one. Group
we're
A,
good.
East A. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
We
no,
are.
no, just
We
saying
are.
we're
No,
good.
yeah, we are good. But I want to get you to the World Series talk. So
We'll get there eventually.
East Group A. Who you guys taking?
I'm probably taking the Cavs here.
Cavs.
Without James, I think it's a pretty. It's close, I think, but I think the duo of Jared Allen and Evan Mobley is probably going to overtake that other forward spot. I don't even know who the Sixers are starting at the other forward spot.
I think
probably Toby.
So Tobias Harris.
But it's like he can't touch Evan Mobley or Jared Allen.
no.
I think, and also I love Darius Garland. I think Darius
Very,
Garland.
I
very
also
good
do
guard.
like Darius Garland a lot.
Very, very good guard.
One of my favorite guys to watch in the league.
Micah.
So I'm gonna say, and maybe I'm a bit biased because he went to Oklahoma. Trae Young has struggled significantly from the field.
Here we go.
He
with
has
this
struggled-
freaking
Knicks fan, you're bringing him
lollipop.
up?
This
He's a-
lollipop.
He's a Knicks
head.
fan. You're bringing Trae Young up.
Trae
He's
Young
struggled
looks-
significantly from the
Listen,
field
Trae
this
Young
year.
looks like somebody licked a lollipop
and dropped
just
it on the carpet.
rolled it through a carpet.
Yes. I'm not saying that the Hawks are going to win, but I'm saying Trae Young is due to catch fire, and he is the type of player where if he catches fire, he is up there with the best shooters in the NBA.
I was so mad that 2021 year when we lost to the Bucks, and then they ended up making it, and they played the Hawks.
I mean,
We would have made the finals
If-
again.
Yeah.
If Trae Young can play like Trae Young can, I wouldn't be surprised if the Hawks were a surprise winner from that group, but I have to agree that outright I'm going to go Cleveland. But again, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Hawks ended up taking that.
And
DeAndre Hunter's played phenomenal basketball
So is
this year.
DeJounte. DeJounte had like 41 points the other
He's
night.
also just always been like great.
He's tough. He's really good.
But
All right.
How do you feel about B, X? Who do you got?
First off, for A, I will say I'm gonna agree with you guys on the Cavs, but I
He's
will
about to say
say
the Knicks.
no. Hold on. No, I'm not going to Group B yet. I will say this to have it on record, because if it happens, I want it to be on record. The Pistons have a unbelievably amazing young team.
I do agree with that.
I love
Unbelievably
Jaden
They are
amazing
actually
young
good.
team.
Jaden Ivey's not even the best part. Bro.
And no,
I
it's
said I
that
like Jaden
rookie
Ivey. I didn't say he's-
19-year-old center is
Jaren Duran or whatever.
I've
Jalen
He's a
never
Duran.
second year. He's a
seen-
second year player. But
I've
yeah.
never seen a 19-year-old child.
Body grown man.
These guys are 30.
He's bodying him. He's on my fantasy team. He's nice as
It's
shit.
unbelievable.
Duran, right?
I'm just putting it out there because, this
like-
tournament is the kind of tournament I could see teams like the Pistons,
The
the Thunder, the Spurs,
Spurs,
teams that
Jazz.
are not in NBA championship contention. This is your tournament. This is your
Cade
tournament.
Cunningham is a bucket.
Yeah,
Like,
so I think
like,
so.
This is actually I was thinking about buying the pass for two teams. I was gonna buy the Heat no matter what, and I really thought I was gonna buy it for the Spurs, but I ended up buying it for the Pistons because I love Cade Cunningham. Asar Thompson is great. I love Isaiah Stewart, who is very underrated. Jalen Duren obviously is having a great start to the year. And they're coached by is Dwayne Casey still their coach, Joe? Pistons coach right now.
Yeah, look,
I'm
help
pretty
us out,
sure it's
guy.
Dwayne Casey. It's Monty
Oh,
Williams.
it's Monty.
Yeah, so
Yes,
I-
that's
I'm
even
saying,
better. That's an upgrade. That's
they
even
have
a
a great
better
coach. I
upgrade.
think this is a great team. Don't sleep on them for that wild card
Yeah.
spot.
So East Group B, obviously,
You're going Knicks.
the bias is there. So I have to be on record with my Knicks. But the Bucks, you have freaking
Yo, give me my. No, I'm just playing.
No,
you
like-
wish. You wish.
No, I knew you were trolling.
Give me-
no,
give
but
me
like
Milwaukee.
think of it this way: you have Giannis and Dame Lillard. There's no reason you should win. So bias aside, Bucks.
Yeah.
That's my
I'm
pick.
taking the Bucks, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna rule out if we get some early playoff Jimmy Butler action. I wouldn't really doubt a Miami Heat wild card spot. But
Okay, so give me Milwaukee.
I
all
really
around. All
highly doubt
around.
it. I'm gonna
Rio.
take Milwaukee.
All right, so let's hurry up and get this done. East Group C, where you going?
Who else?
Celtics.
Boston.
I love the Magic.
But I was just say, if I were to pick any team
You're a big Magic guy.
out of these four to upset Boston, it would be the Orlando Magic.
Yeah,
Franz.
I'll take that.
Franz Wagner.
So we got a couple minutes left before we got to head out. We thought it's only right, and it's very important. The World Series just came to an end.
Stop it.
I mean, listen, you
the four fans out there with the
it's
who like the
America's-
Diamondbacks and Texas Rangers, bro.
It's America's pastime, and I know people that listen to this radio station are probably wanting to hear about baseball too.
I'd
So
rather hear about the World Series than slightly after the early season NBA. Like,
I don't
Yeah.
know, Micah.
Come on now.
Talk
it's
to him.
it's time, Micah. Talk to us. The Rangers won the World Series, right?
Texas Rangers took down the Arizona Diamondbacks 4-1 in the World Series this past week, in a World Series that I guarantee you don't know anybody in the world that predicted that either of these teams, let alone both, were going to end up in the World Series at the end of the year. A lot of players established the market for themselves. Guys like Ketel Marte for Arizona and Nathan Eovaldi for Texas really established themselves as big names. X dropped a nice little article in here with some nice fun facts, 13 amazing stats and facts from Texas's first title run.
It's nuts.
That-
You know that they are one of the few teams in baseball besides the Diamondbacks that hadn't won a World Series
Yep.
up to that time.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's really insane.
Both of those teams had the opportunity to win their first
Wait,
World
am I
Series.
tripping? No, yeah, Arizona didn't win. I
No.
was like, I don't know. I'm picturing like 01 or 02 or whatever year that they beat the Yankees.
Oh, when they had Randy
Luis Gonzalez hit the walk off against
okay,
Mariano.
yeah. I don't know if that was a World
No, I don't-
Series or
They didn't
not.
go, I don't
No.
think.
No.
I don't know anything
Hold
about
up.
baseball.
But yeah, go ahead,
Lying.
bring-
No. I
You
gotta.
wanna-
I'm gonna freak out if I don't like confirm this.
Okay, go ahead and you do
One
that.
thing I do want to talk about is my limited baseball knowledge. I do know that Corbin Carroll is
Yeah.
a bucket.
Yeah.
That boy, look, he's 23 years old and he I'm pulling up his stats right now. He hit 273, had 2 home runs, knocked 10 in, and had 5 bags. He stole 5 bags.
Yeah. I
in-
mean, he
in
helped
66
out.
And
at-bats.
real quick, in 01 they did win the World Series. That's what I
Oh,
thought.
okay.
But yes, Texas's first World Series in their not so illustrious, lengthy history in Major League Baseball. Sorry, go ahead back to Glazing Corbin Carroll.
Yeah, I do think he's like one of the people in the MLB who really do excite me to this point, who is young, and I'm happy for the future. And you don't really see that a lot in baseball. You a lot of these guys who are really highly touted don't really come up that often that early.
Yeah.
You know, like he's 23 years old. Like
Mhm.
he's doing things that not a lot of people have done to that point. You can
I
go
mean-
back. I just
No, you're right. He's a 5-tool guy. I was talking to someone about this yesterday. Corbin Carroll and Alec Thomas were 2 of my favorite outfield prospects in baseball a couple years ago. They were both ranked, I want to say, between 15 and 30. Alec Thomas was higher for whatever reason. I never understood why.
Yeah.
But I'm really happy that both of them came up and succeeded. I loved that trade that they made when they swapped Dalton Varsho for Gabby Moreno with the Toronto Blue Jays, because the Toronto Blue Jays had a logjam at catcher with Alejandro Kirk, and Moreno was the odd man out. I don't know why he was the odd man out. He's a phenomenal contact catcher. He's got some pop. He's got good defense. And I know I'm spending a lot of time talking about the losers of the World Series, but I like them and their position in the future more than almost any other team in baseball, especially after this postseason run.
Yeah.
What's up, Joe?
What Joe's got something to say. What's up, Joe?
I just want to say, if anyone hears me,
No, we can hear you.
I remember 2 years ago, Seager and Simeon were both free agents, and their agent, Scott Boras, was telling the Yankees to sign one of them.
Oh, here we go.
And
He's not wrong.
They didn't sign either of them. So I don't know if you ever
Boo-hoo.
listened.
I'm not too mad that we didn't sign Semien. I think Semien, I think he's no, I know Seager's the miss. I think Semien is a huge byproduct of his environment. He's a top, I don't know, he's definitely a top 5 second baseman in baseball. But I don't know. I'd rather have Corey Seager for sure. But anyways, that'll wrap up the World Series, the small World Series analysis that
don't matter.
we got to give.
Well, it's actually the worst ratings of any World Series ever. If you didn't
No,
know.
I heard that they were doing better.
I'm lying.
in
I'm
the
lying
playoff-
for fun.
Yeah.
I'm really
Okay.
lying for fun.
I will say this though.
I just don't like it.
I will give off one good stat. Texans 11-game road winning streak.
Yep, 11-0.
The
for
Texans, the
Rangers.
Houston Texans.
Yes.
Oh, no, the
The Rangers.
God bless you.
The Rangers.
God bless
The
you.
Rangers.
Wait, the New York Rangers?
The Texas Rangers. You know what I mean. But thank you, everybody, for joining us in, as you guys usually do. You know this theme song is Otis. That means it's time for us to head out. You're listening to X, Micah, and Connor. Coin toss is out. If you want to, follow us on socials.
I guess I got my swagger back.